Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 16 of the House of Hammers. This is a podcast we developed just to spread positivity, love, talk about people's trials, tribulations, how they fail forward, some of the things they do to pick themselves up, who's motivated them, and just all positivity. That's the whole point of this thing, is to pump positivity and for people to understand that you can be a part of something bigger than yourself, whether it's your job, whether it's your home life, a sport that you might play, or how you mentor someone. So we're really excited to have a special guest with us today. But before I get to our special guest, I'm going to go to our guest host, somebody that we've talked about numerous times on this podcast. He's been a guest of the podcast, huge part of my circle, my family circle. He's a man of faith, a father, a husband. He's our head basketball coach, and he's become one of my brothers throughout our journey here at Catholic Central. So I want to welcome Coach Tory Jackson as our guest host today. We can clap it up for him. Our real guest, you can clap too. We'll introduce you here shortly. But Tory, I wanted to yeah, exactly. It's not like you're not familiar with him, so we'll tell some good stories between the two of you later on. But Tory, just want to talk to you a little bit. How was the weekend? Anything fun you guys had going on? I know you had the retreat on Saturday. Love to hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah, this weekend was amazing, man. Powerful event. We had our what we call our Invincible Men's Conference over at Brightmoor Christian. We had about over 1,100 men show up to just worship, man, and praise God together for 2 days. We had 3 speakers come in and preached and taught on like 3 powerful sermons. It was amazing. For me, it was like adding fuel to the fire. It was throwing those logs back in to get me to stay on fire for God, you know. And it was one of the sermons that one of the pastors preached on really touched me. Pastor Kavar Reed talked about, he spoke on like Daniel, the story of Daniel when Daniel was falsely accused and thrown in the lion's den for his loyalty and faith to God. And it was like how his enemies tried to set all of these different traps to get him to lose his faith, to get him to change course and get him to forget about God. And instead of him reacting, he stayed in prayer. He prayed extra, prayed more, prayed harder for God to seek answers from God. And Pastor Gavar talked about some real life lessons, brought some real life lessons into things, but also like for me, it made sense. It made plenty of sense because of a lot of distractions out there in the world that we can get caught up in. You can get caught up in the success, the individual success. As a coach, we had great success this year. But one thing that kept me level-headed, kept me grounded was God. No matter what, I kept giving glory to God, and it just kept seeming like he kept finding ways to bless me more, kept shining his light through me more. The downfalls, when I fail in certain things, I was able to find joy in him instead of relying on negative vices, worldly vices. I was relying on him, and Pastor Gavar talked about that, man. It was so powerful, man. I found myself being at the altar just in tears, crying, and just giving glory to God, man. So it was amazing, man, powerful. Brought my nephew Jeremiah with me, man. Coach Jeremiah, he went with me. So, man, we had an amazing time just glorifying God, dude. It was amazing.
I love it. The message you sent me too. And Tory will send me the message from each Sunday's service. And it's the one yesterday was right on the money.
Oh, bro.
And it just talked about how God already knew you before you were even created.
Yeah.
Every eyelash, every single freckle on your body,
Yes.
whatever it might be, he knew that before you were created, and he still knows everything about you.
Yes.
And that it's important for you to remember that you're one of one.
Yes.
One unique being created in his image. I love the idea of that. And we constantly tell our kids here that, guys, your journey is different than everybody else's. You were created in his image to be special.
Yes.
Like, what are you going to do with that?
Yes.
Your gift to God is what he gave you. Your gift to God is what you make of yourself. I mean, it's I don't think any truer words were more spoken. So I appreciate the constant friendship and the brotherhood. And like I said, the spiritual mentorship. It's helped write a lot of things with me too, just having our conversations on everything from raising crazy kids to having saints for wives.
Yeah.
Shout out to Larissa and Lauren. Let me throw that out there real quick to the ladies.
Facts.
So we can brown nose and make sure that they get a clip of this. Sean, clip that.
Please
send it to me. Tory and me will share it with the ladies.
Great brownie point.
But I do really appreciate it. And I have to do that. We always get a little brown nosing in on here. We have to. But I really appreciate that message. And it's like every Sunday you send me that, it just hits me because it's something I'm going through that I can directly tie to that. But without further ado, someone very special that we have here. I've gotten to watch this young man truly grow up, not only in the hallways here at Catholic Central, but just as a young leader, as a phenomenal example of what it means to be a son and to love your parents, to trust them, even though you might not always agree with them. And this person, this young man is very special to me. I truly look at him like a little brother. Not only was he an all-state basketball player here at Detroit Catholic Central High School, but he left Catholic Central, had a very successful summer, takes his talents to the University of Detroit Mercy, had a great 2-year career at U of D Mercy, found himself in the transfer portal, and he now ends his career at Tulane, and we're very excited for him. And you talk about servant leader, you talk about somebody who's got a smile on his face, you talk about somebody who loves to put the work in, and that's Catholic Central graduate TJ Nadeau. Clap it up a little bit for TJ. Welcome Hot Toddy on the program. Larry Legend. We'll break out all the nicknames later on, tell a few stories about TJ and some of my favorites, and I'm sure some of Coach Tory's favorites. But TJ, welcome to the House of Hammers podcast. We're excited to have you here.
No, I'm excited to be here. I've been watching all the podcast episodes and keeping in touch with everything, and just blessed to be here, blessed to be with two of my brothers and people that have been here for every step of the way with me. Babicz has had such a hold on being able to guide me throughout my, just career here at Catholic Central, right? Like I always tell people when they're like, hey, like I'm looking at CC, I should probably come here. I said, if you're going to come here, I said, the best resource is make sure you're in Babitz's office during lunch hours. I said, you get in contact with him, you'll have everything you need. He'll go to battle for you wherever it's at. And then, Tory coming here my senior year on top of it, it was just really enlightening for me to be able to kind of get a whole new fresh step in and be able to understand a different process, being able to learn, go through the, uncomfortable parts of that, and then being able to sacrifice, right? Because everything nowadays, it all involves a little bit of sacrifice, and you got to know how to give something to get something, right? And so that was the process. Like, it's not going to be easy, right? It was his first year as a head coach here, and it was my first year being coached by him, right? So you got to be able to understand how to be selfless in areas that you can be, right? And then be selfish in areas that you need to be, right? For me, that's going out in the court and doing what I'm supposed to do, right? I'm going to be selfish in order to succeed for myself, but I'm going to be selfless to succeed for the team, to help Tory be a great coach, to make him be the best he can be, right? So I think those are cool aspects about it, and I'm very blessed to be here in this opportunity on this podcast.
TJ becomes the first. Well, we have two TJs here, so Tulane TJ becomes the first student athlete. Current student athlete we've had on the House of Hammers. Usually it's mentors, coaches, people like that. So it's a big deal for us to have you on here because you represent everything that Catholic Central stands for, everything your family stands for. In a brief 2 minutes, and it's fine if it takes more than that. One thing I usually do on here is the 2-minute you. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what makes you tick, and what TJ Nadeau's whys are in his life.
Yeah, I'd say the first thing I'm gonna touch on is kind of what Tory started off here is faith, right? And for me, the biggest part that I really like to live by is in Revelations when they talk about the different types of, leader you can be, the different types of person you can be in your faith, right? And you have that you're either hot, right, and you're hot in your faith for God, or you're cold, or there's that lukewarm area as well. And it's crazy to say this, and it's crazy that most people don't even understand that. But God would rather have you be cold than be lukewarm. Why? Because he doesn't want you to fake your faith. He doesn't want you to put all this stuff in your bio on Instagram and all those things and post and repost all these things about Jesus. And then at the end of the day, do you live your life like that? Are you hot for it? No. Right? So if you're not, it's better to be cold than it is to be lukewarm. Don't fake the faith, right? So I think that's a huge part of everything, right? And then getting to your roots is the people who raised you, right? Your family and your friends that have you since day one. I think that's a huge part of who I am, right? Basketball is what groomed me coming up, right? My parents helped obviously put me in those steps, and both them being amazing basketball players themselves, right? And my dad, he always kind of took the pressure off me in terms of, hey, if you want to be great, go be great, right? I'm going to help you in every way I can. I'm not going to push it on you, but I'm going to make sure you can be successful, right? And so for me, that was kind of the coolest aspect. I never had to feel the pressure to do it. I just knew I wanted to, right? So you put in the work, you grind it out, right? And having people that love you and help push you to be the best person, I think that makes it all the difference, right? So, just kind of tapping into those things was really huge for who I am as a person. And then obviously my dad's an alumni from here, so kind of CC was the only thought process coming into high school. But, bigger than it just being a family situation, I'm so happy I came here, because at the end of the day, it's like the connections here last forever,
Man.
right? Colleges have obviously alumni connections and all that. But at the end of the day, like here, it is a totally different feel, totally different grasp on life, right? Like to be able to know that no matter what situation you're in, you can always come back here and you can always reach out. And that's the truth, right? So to be able to have that ability, it creates this, you can't fail scenario in your mind. Go out there, right? Take risks, take chances, be the best you. And that's what I'm doing right now, right? Because I know I have great people to fall back on. But at the end of the day, like I want to reach for the stars. I don't want to settle for anything less. And that's just a big process of how I think about this whole thing, right? Like where I'm at, nobody thought I could maybe be there, except the people that obviously like a Babicz and a Tory, right? And my parents and my people. But, beyond that, there's a lot of people who doubt. There's a lot of people who second guess and they don't understand what goes on behind the scenes. And at the end of the day, that's work, right? You put in what you get out. And that's how it works here, right? And that's why, like Tory right now, being able to mold the people he's got here, it's huge, right? Every day I come here to work out, and who's in here? Tory and the high schoolers getting after it. So, if you want to be about that life, you got to live it.
That's it.
So, yeah, I mean, that's really just kind of the process of where I'm at and getting in my life.
It's really not fair for me and Tory to sit here and hear you talk about your family because we love them so much. But it is, it's heartwarming to hear somebody your age have it so much together with your faith. You know what I mean? And it's not fake. You're somebody who's hot in their faith. You're not lukewarm. You're not cold. And me seeing you throughout your whole journey, you've been the same way the whole time. I think that's what's so endearing about you is you've never changed who TJ is for anybody. Tory, for you, I know you've only got to spend 1 year as his coach.
Yeah.
I always see him come back to the gym. Whenever he's around, he'll be like, where you at? I'm like, TJ, it's 8 o'clock at night, dude. I'm not at school anymore. Like, you up here? I'm like, no, I'm not shooting in the gym. I already told you I got cut. Once again, I will say this again. Besides Sean, who's not much of a hooper, I'm obviously out of us three, the only one that got cut from freshman basketball, unfortunately.
But he's a free throw champ.
Free throw. For the people in the TJ, for the people in the back, say it again. I didn't even say it. Go ahead. I was what? Tell him, TJ. Go ahead. Both you TJs can tell him. I was a what?
His biggest success on the court is being a free throw champ.
The CYO.
Thank you, Tory. CYO free throw champ. Pussy, did you ever win that? No, you didn't. Tory, Tory,
Never.
You ever win that?
Never.
Okay, then. All right, back to business. Tory, for you only having TJ for 1 year as his coach, though, but continuing to be a friend and a mentor, what's it like for you as a coach to see a player come back who you only had on the court for a season? A sprint, really, because we hired you kind of late. We had to, you remember, we had to jump in the summer. You were coming back from your shoulder injury, which still wasn't 100%, still hindered you during your season. For you, what's it like to have somebody like TJ come back, continuously pour in, and just to hear how good of a path he's on?
For us, man, for me, it's, we talk about it as a staff too. Like your biggest recruiters are your players, the ones that are playing for you currently and the ones that have played for you. So to have him around a lot when guys are around or he's out and about and guys ask him, about his time at CC, and for him to speak highly on his time with me and stuff like that, man, it speaks volume about, who he is, our relationship. I enjoy every time he comes around. We always crack jokes. We play against each other sometimes in the summertime.
I win.
Not all the time, but
we can set this up as a little fundraiser.
This could be a great fundraiser, but we always, man, just having him around, man. TJ has been great. But you talked about it. When I first came in, it was towards the end of the summer, so trying to get everything put together. He was one of the ones I saw in the gym right away. He was dealing with an injury, coming back from an injury, dealing with some stuff, but he didn't want to miss his senior year. So he was trying to navigate through everything. I'm watching him work out. I'm just like, man, like I love a kid like that. I'm watching him work. I'm like, yo, he's going to be the one. Cool. I'm gonna have him just be the leader of it, and then he and I just had this one-on-one relationship. Something that I had with my college coach coming in as a freshman. I knew how much he valued just that one-on-one aspect. He was great with everybody, but he needed to be one-on-one with the leader, the point guard in that situation. In our situation, I needed to be one-on-one with that guy. I knew other guys would. They followed, or they understood, man, he's the leader of this group. So I needed him to be able to, the message that needed to get to the team. I needed a player to make sure that message got through as well. And we always talk about how a player-led team is better than a coach-led team. And he was the one I knew I can go to, and he understood. He had a vision. He had dreams. He had aspirations of trying to do certain things. And what I loved about him the most is he understood I've been there. I've experienced how to get to that level. I experienced how to have success at that level. And he wanted that drive. Hey, whatever it takes, tell me. I'm willing to change whatever it takes. And we had some battles in practice where we like, hey, man, I need you to do this more. I need you to defend this. I need you to play here more. Like, instead of, you don't have to dribble to be efficient. You don't have to dribble to get 30. Like, there's other ways to go get a bucket without having to put the ball on the floor a ton of times. You know what I'm saying? So just get into your spot quicker. A lot of things that he learned in that short amount of time. For me, I was willing to brag about him to any coach. And a lot of coaches didn't know. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm like, all right, whoever takes a chance on him, they're going to get a gym, bro. They're going to get a gym. And it just so happened UAD took a chance. And from there, I knew nobody. Once you let him in the door, he's kicking that down. With God on this side and the work ethic, intact to go in that, like, nothing was going to stop him. So he just needed opportunity, and TJ took advantage of the opportunity. So just our relationship, our connection, our time that we've had, he's still to this day. That's why he's here, man. Just kicking it with us. Like, we talk about dang near everything, highs, lows, or everything. So that's my guy for life, family for life. His family is amazing too.
Selfishly speaking, for all of us too, it was nice to have you close to home the last 2 years. Like, I could bring the boys down to a couple games. It was awesome too. In UAD, it's you wait around for the players after, pictures, stuff like that. I mean, you see a ton of people that are supporters of the UAD program that have no ties to it. People that are just Titan supporters for years, like Coach Fenbert, who used to coach here. He goes down to the game still. We see Coach Sanawi, former basketball coach here, still comes down and supports you and shows love on social media. We've been able to come down. Like, it's been really cool to see your growth being the third best basketball player in your family.
I would agree with that.
You knew it was coming.
I agree
Which
with that.
segues perfectly into this question, TJ. And I want you to be honest, because Julie will watch this. I'm on text her after. At what age were you finally able to confidently beat your mom in basketball? Don't lie, because I know she didn't take it easy on you. And I skipped over Todd on this.
Yeah, because
I'm going right to Julie.
Stop.
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
Probably like eighth grade.
Legitimately.
8th grade.
Okay.
8th grade.
All right.
Yeah.
That's sure about that.
Big Todd got in the alumni game with me.
Yeah, this year.
You're gonna drop out
legit.
First time he touched the court in like 5 years.
How was he? Still got it?
Well, the crazy part is it was me, and I was with the older group of the guys, right? All really good players, but it's 20-minute halves, long games, so not all of them can go that long. So I'm like, Dad, if you're coming, you might need to bring a pair of shoes. Like, be ready. And so he's like, okay. So he comes, he's watching. One of the guys goes, Todd, I need a sub. I need you to come in. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, Dad, just take it easy out there. He comes in, I pass him the ball, and he's like, they leave him open, obviously, because you're not thinking much of him. And he starts shooting, and I'm like, what is he doing? And then he hits it. I'm like, no warm up,
like,
no
wait.
stretch, no nothing. I'm like, hasn't touched the court in 5 years, probably either a ball, and he just goes out there and shoots a 3 and hits it. And I'm like, okay.
Probably saying something quietly under his breath as he ran away, just hitting a 3, just 1 for 1.
Yeah.
Here's the real question, though, with the 20-minute half. How was his cardio?
That's a great question.
It was terrible, but,
So
but
he's
it's
lucky he
okay.
got that
He hit
shot
the
up
shot.
early.
He hit the shot.
That's all that matters. It's like me
Legs
with the
were
CY.
fresh.
Listen, it's like me with the CYO free throw contest. Like, it's not a big deal, but you gotta play it up a little bit. But you coming from such a good basketball family with a dad who had a crazy journey in the game of basketball and was able to overcome a true tragedy while he was still in high school, in the workforce and losing his hand and the way that he was able to battle back and the strength he showed, and then having your mom be a college athlete as well. I love she posted her throwback basketball picture the other day with her hair.
Yeah.
Like that put her at about
Classic.
6'8"
All
on
that
the court.
spray.
Yeah, that was a lot of hairspray on the court. I don't know how, like, if they sweat, would that
Oh,
get in
what?
their eyes or
Burn your eyes.
I didn't have to
like
worry
crazy.
too much.
I have no idea. I'd
burn
never
your
use any
eyes.
product for a game.
For a
natural.
game, let's
The natural
for a
locks.
game. For a game, you've never used it, but let's
I
be
don't use
honest.
product in general.
He lies.
Do you
going-
use anything for the beard?
No, just beauty, just my natural beauty.
Just beauty.
That's it.
Beard beauty.
My God-given beauty, one of one. It's great. I love that we can laugh in here too, and that's the whole point of this too, is to get in here and spread some laughter. But you didn't have the easiest time here. Wasn't the easiest journey, especially with some of the injuries you went through, coaching change heading into your senior year. What are some of the things besides your faith that you lean on to help you get through those tough situations, through those challenges, through some failures? Because I know not everything here went like you wanted it to. It wasn't picture perfect.
Yeah.
You had to fight through a lot of adversity. What are some of the things that you use and go to outside of your faith to help you get through that?
I think relationships are huge, right? And it's something that can help propel you, right? Being able to rely on you, be able to rely on Tory, be able to rely on my people, my family, right? Those are things that can help uplift you when you get down on yourself or you find yourself in areas that might be a little bit difficult, right? So for me, building a really good relationship with Tory helped my career here at my senior year, and it helped him as a coach, right? Because relationships are a two-way street.
Yeah.
And you didn't
Right.
know him
No,
really.
not at
You knew who
all.
he was,
But-
I'm sure, before coming in, but didn't know
Yeah.
him at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, not at all.
That's
And
crazy.
and I always say, like, when you're out there playing on that court, obviously CC, it's a tradition. Like, you want to live and die for CC High, right? But at the end of the day, it's also like that coach, right? Are you going to run through a brick wall for him, right? When you go out there, are you going to try and make him look as good as he can, right? Because at the end of the day, that's how coaching is. You got to have the players that go get it done for them,
Yeah.
right? So it's a selfless thing as well, but it's a relationship thing. I care for his success as much as he cares for mine, right? So if we're both in on that together, then we might as well go at it together, right? And it's the same thing for you. You're always rooting for me no matter what it is. If I went to go play lacrosse, you would have been out there on the lacrosse field, right? So it's just that aspect of the people can help push you to be your best self, right? Like at U of D, for example, one of my trainers, Ian, love Ian to death, right? Absolute dog, always in the gym, always there to help push me, right? On the days where I was like, you know what, maybe I can just, kick my feet up and relax. Maybe I'm not feeling it today. I get the text, hey, let's get shots up at 12. And I'm like, me being the guy I am, I can't say no. No, I'm not going to get shots up, Ian. No, I'm like, oh, now I feel guilty. I got to go get shots up. So then we go get a workout. And it's like people can hold you accountable, right? And that's surrounding yourself with good people that can help push you to be better in all areas, right? And it's the same thing when it comes to something like faith, right? Having people that are all about that, they'll keep you dragged in, right? You don't feel like going to worship, they'll bring you. They'll put it in your face, right? And obviously not in like a shovey way, but right, they know what you're about and they know what you should be doing with your
Sometimes
life.
it does have to be in a shovey way,
Right.
though, to be completely honest. Like
Yeah.
if someone's like you used the perfect analogy earlier. If someone's cold in their faith or even lukewarm, like there were certain times, and I'll be dead honest, like through Tory's journey, and I've said this 100 times on here, and I'll say it every single episode. The picture I saw of Tory getting baptized is one of the most emotional things I have ever witnessed, besides my marriage, birth of my children, stuff like that. Like it hit me that hard at a point where I wasn't, I would say I was simmering between lukewarm and being really hot for my faith, but seeing the change in him, hearing you come in and talk about your faith, like that for me is what stokes the fire of my faith. Seeing people I care about carry that same flag and walk in that faith, like there's nothing better for me because I get to see the people I care about grow.
Yes.
As an AD, like do I want Tory to win a state championship? Of course I do. Like I want that for every coach.
Yeah.
However, I'm just as happy seeing him grow and us making it to whatever level we make it to or wherever the basketball journey ends because it's bigger than that.
It's about the people.
That's it. For you, you've been around so many good people your whole life, whether it's traveling with basketball, just having good people in your dad and mom's network around you. Who are some of the mentors that you lean on outside of your CC community and just people that you've had there in your corner your whole life, besides your family too?
Yeah, I'd say first one that really comes to mind is probably Scott Menzer.
He counts as part of this. I'll allow that one. Scott counts as part of the CC family, but for all intents and purposes, go ahead. We'll allow this.
Coach Scott, he's just, kind of the whole process of how I got to where I am, right? I was playing, for rec basketball as a little kid, nothing intense, nothing crazy. And then my dad obviously knew him from a young age, and he was like, hey, I'm going to try and get you on their AAU team, which at the time it was Team All Out. And then transitioned to Great Lakes Warriors, and now Warriors is a big AAU thing nowadays. But so he put me on that team, and honestly, like beyond basketball, that was the best thing for me because like that group of guys, like our AAU I think it was my age level, and then we had one team above us that was a year older. Like all of us to this day, all talk.
Was
We're all connected.
Juber on that team?
Juber was on that.
You got to meet Juber for the first time,
right? Landon, Dylan Smith, Dwayne Ray.
That's a good squad,
right? Cam Mays, who I always come back here to work out with.
Yeah.
You had Max Anderson, Angelo Rodriguez, Brady Bakita was on that squad. Like there was so many
players.
Yeah, there was
Brady
so
exactly the same height he is now.
Pretty much same
Brady.
guy. But it's like crazy, like all those guys, and then we all end up kind of going to high schools in similar or the same spot, and it's like the brotherhood started before you even knew it, right? So it's just really cool because it's like we all, since I think that was like 3rd or 4th grade, all were on the same program, and then actually my 5th grade year, I transferred to I went to a different elementary school, and it was the same one where Juber was in it. Ryan Hershey, and a couple other of our guys that were all on the same AAU team, and we literally all were in the same class at elementary school.
Wow. I know that teacher hated jobs.
And
then we got you and Juber here too.
Right. So
for those of you out there that don't know, Juber, Julian Menzer, golfer at Michigan State right now, just absolutely classic young man, but thought he was a hooper at a young age. Had the greatest sock collection. If you remember, I used to always dog him about his socks freshman year.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. Now, think about that. Like, that's when you were a little kid. Now you're heading into your junior year of college, right? I mean, think about how quickly that time went.
Yeah.
When you look back on your journey, and once again, you're still very young in your journey, what are some of the highlights for you? What are some of the things that you look back and you're like, you know what, this moment made me a better person. This challenge made me a better person. Share some of the things that you help make you take a huge step forward in the young man you continue to become.
Yeah, I feel like a good area to start is where failure leans farthest, right? So for me, kind of going into my freshman year here, right? It was COVID year, so it's kind of chaotic, and the only area we could go get workouts in or go get shots up or play pickup was you go over to the Novi Middle School right across the street, and they got the outdoor basketball courts. So we'd go over there, and like that's where we'd get runs going with all the varsity freshmen, JV.
People driving by, making sure you're playing in a full hazmat suit. So
right, exactly. Make sure you got
wipe
your mask
the ball
on.
down before.
Right, and so that was really where it all started, right? That's where I met Chaz, because it was Chaz's first year coming out, who's, a brother for life now. And like, I'm just this freshman guy. I really want to play varsity. Like, that's really what I want to do. And the whole time, obviously COVID, you put on a couple pounds, so I wasn't in the best of shape. But still still got the shot. Just,
you said that very slid that on in.
And so, I knew I needed to be in a lot better shape to be a varsity athlete. And I really needed to lock in to a bigger extent. And And COVID obviously handicapped some of that, but you can't blame it all on that. At a certain point, you have accountability, right? I could have been better with diet, eating, all those things, which now I've learned, and that's something I'm very good at, where earlier in the process I wasn't. But I didn't let that hinder me. I grinded, worked it out, really got better, and then I found myself on varsity as a freshman, right? And even though, like, that's a big accolade itself, like, I always wanted more. I wanted to be a solidified starter as a freshman, and that wasn't fully the case, right? I was on and off. Some games I start, some games I wouldn't. And to me, it's like, that's still failure, because it's like my farthest goal I want to get to at that year was be a varsity starter, right? So you got to do a lot of things to make sure you don't lose that opportunity, right? And then grinding into the second year, sophomore year, still got juniors and seniors that are older, right? So me as a starter is not a guarantee. You got to come and you got to own it every day, right? You got to grind for your spot every single day and show that it is mine, right? And that's the same thing to carry on to the college level. Right, you get to Detroit Mercy. I had a great freshman year, right? That wasn't just given. My expectation was nothing there. It was for me to maybe even redshirt, right? But I locked in the entire summer. I did my job. I worked out. I killed in practice. And they said, you know what, we're going to take a chance on you.
Came in healthy finally for a season.
That definitely didn't. That
First
definitely
time
helped.
in probably 4 years, 100%
Legit.
healthy.
Yeah. And but yeah, I mean, that was just the process, and it's earning your way, right? You got to show every day. It's an uphill battle, right? And that's how it's going to be for these high schoolers nowadays. It's uphill battle in college sports, right? It is not an advantage for you. It is a disadvantage, right? So you got to work that much harder to get an opportunity at that level. And for me, I really felt that kind of going in. And hey, we're going to take a chance on you. Some games, oh, hey, you're going to play a lot. Some games you're not going to play a lot, right? So that first half of the season for me was total ups and downs, right? I'd have great games and I'd have games where I don't even touch the court, or I might just not have played well, right? And that's accountability as well. It's not always the coach's situation. A lot of times it's just make the most, right? You go in and you got a great look at a three-pointer, maybe hit the shot, right? Don't miss, right? So at the end of the day, that's true. That's, oh, well, you're not perfect. You're going to have failure. Yeah, you're going to have failure. But don't lean towards it. Don't expect it, right? I always say, don't go into a game saying, you know, well, if I shoot 50%, that's great. You might not have the chance to shoot 50%. You might only get one shot. You better hit that shot, right? So you can't expect failure. You should only look at success. You should only see yourself winning, right? Or else you're already one step in the wrong direction if you're looking at the failure. So, you know, that was the whole process, and I grinded it out freshman year to where that second half of the season, I really got in a position where I'm like, I'm just doing me. I'm out there playing basketball, right? And that built into my sophomore season.
Having fun.
Man.
Having fun.
Kids, you could still have
doing what you
fun.
love.
You can still have fun playing college athletics. Doesn't have to be a job. It's going to feel like it,
100%.
but you can still have fun.
Right.
I think you had a cheat code too with your dad.
Yeah.
Having someone who understood how to help challenge your
Right, the process.
channeling your mental, what to focus on, what not to focus on. That helped big time, man. And I think that's where the kids at the high school level need to know how important that is. And that's something.
Right.
How what would you say to a high school kid? You know what I'm saying? Like what would you say to a high school kid that can help him navigate that adversity? You talked about it. You had your dad. You dealt with some adversity as a freshman and stuff like that. I know great players that are coming up. I know current players that that deal with a lot of adversity. What would you tell them in the moment? Hey, man, that can help them. You know, maybe put them on the same trajectory that you are on now. You know what I'm saying? What kind of advice would you give them?
You know, the biggest thing is just adversity is a good thing, not a bad thing, right? Fighting for your spot, that's where you want to be at, right? You don't want to be the best player in the gym, right? So, and that's the negative that people feed people these days, and these kids that are trying to become successful is, well, you're not going to play here, so you should probably go here where you can play. No, right? Grind it out. If you fail, you fail. But at least you can say you tried, right? Don't take the easier route. Take the harder route, because at the end of the day, you're going to be better for it, right? Like when I came here, it was a very good team. A lot of great guys who all played high-level basketball, and we had some great college guys. And as a freshman, I could have said, you know what, I'm just going to go over to this school where I know I got a guaranteed varsity spot. I'm the man. I'm the best player. I don't have to worry about anything. No, it's like I came here for expectations to be pushed. I wanted to become better, and I knew I'd put myself in a spot by going against players that I thought were better. Not that I couldn't be better than them, but the aspect is you don't want to be the best in the gym, right? So people always look for these easier spots to succeed, and sometimes it's not about that. Sometimes it's about grind it out, win out where you're at, right? Because when you get to college, you have no choice, right? If you only got one option, which was the case for me, I only had Detroit. It wasn't like I had the pick of the litter. So that's the spot I had to go to, right? And you have now you're at an elite level. Now you're with all Division I guys. We're all on scholarship. Everybody here can play the game of basketball, right? So you can't say, okay, I'm just going to go to this school now. It's easier. No, they're D1 over there too, right? They're good college players too. You can't dodge it anymore, right? Now you've put yourself in a spot where you either win or lose. You either push past or you fall behind. And that's an aspect that people struggle with mentally to understand, where it's failure's not a bad thing. If you cap out, you cap out. But at least you know you did your best where you were.
Man, I love that.
You know, so it's not always all about winning in terms of you get what you want. Sometimes it's about what you got going through the process, right? They always talk about it's not where you're ending up, it's the journey to get there.
That's
right.
It.
So
Just gonna say
you get molded by that in that whole process, right? It's supposed to suck. It's supposed to have hiccups. You're supposed to bump into road bumps that are just like, man, I don't know how I'm going to get past this, or life feels terrible right now. Like you're in your downs, and that's how it's supposed to work, because the stronger struggles, then you push past those, the greater your success is going to be, the better you're going to be for it, right? Nobody got in life being great and being successful at what they do without just cruising to the top. They had to fight through a lot of adversity to get there, and whatever it is, sports, business, right? This school. Right, we've accomplished a lot of things here, buildings, right? Adding this whole financial thing over here, and then on top of that, we're about to build a whole new stadium. You think that happens without a little bit of setback and push, a little bit of struggle? No, it doesn't just, hey, let's get the money, get the check, right? That's not how it works.
No.
You got to do a lot of grind and gritty work in between to make that happen.
People think we wave a magic wand and we're just building
Here we go.
whatever we
Right?
want. Like we're attracting good coaches because we're giving them duffel bags of money. We're recruiting kids, duffel bag of money. It's like we're the Oprah, like the Oprahs of handing out duffel bags. Like people just think like you get a Scully, but it's not like that. And,
No, not
and
at
your
all.
mentality is very old school.
Yes.
Because it's fight or flight. Like you either fight for what you want, whether it's healthy relationships in your own life with God, whoever it might be, or you run away from stuff like that. And it's just like any other challenge. I keep trying to tell kids, and I tell Brooks and Bo, you guys know how I am with them, which I try to be, and that's one thing I want to ask you after this, though. I try not to teeter across that line too much of daddy's coaching you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I am constantly telling them, I've told Tory this, and it breaks me every time I say it. I'm coaching them to survive when my wife and I aren't there anymore.
You're not around.
I'm coaching them to survive as two brothers that love each other, that are going to always be there for each other. And at some point, it's just going to be those two when we're not here.
Yeah.
You know, with your dad having such a high level of knowledge in the sports psychology world and with so many great coping mechanisms, I know he didn't just stay on you all the time, mentally assassinating you with ways to cope and things like that. Did he kind of make it to where he would guide you a little bit? And as you became older, he became a more important resource because you understood the mental part of it? You think that grew your relationship with him as a sports doctor, sports med doctor, sports psychologist? Did it grow as you understood the mentality needed the older you got? Did you lean on him a little bit more with some of his professional knowledge?
Yeah, totally. You know, because
That's what a hack to have. Like,
What?
I mean,
right. I mean, the older you get, the more struggles.
but
you're
he's
gonna
still
get,
dad.
right,
Yeah.
and he's still dad. So, you know, as you get older, your problems get a little bit more serious. You get right. It's more grown up
Hey,
issues. and
How old are you, TJ? Speak to us on your wise. Go ahead. How old?
I'll just let the people figure out how old.
Yeah,
I am,
okay,
right?
go ahead.
I know my skin's pretty glossy,
He
but
said,
Go ahead, though. As you get older,
He
yeah.
understood like he had a ton of problems, man.
Let's hear it. I can't wait to hear this one.
No,
yeah,
I'm
it's still
Not
kid
saying that you
issues.
don't.
It's still
Yeah,
kid issues
messing
growing
with
all the
you.
way up. But
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
basketball, real life scenarios. I mean, and you
Yeah,
guys
that's
understand
true.
nowadays.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money on the line for just obviously college basketball, but
Yeah.
before that even happens,
lot,
right?
yeah.
Like that wasn't guaranteed. You have to take the proper steps to get yourself in a position to do that. So right? You really got to understand, like, oh, wow, like there's a lot on the line here. If I play my cards right and I do this the right way, I could put myself in a position to be very successful, you know, and that's not because, oh, now I have it, now I got to be successful. No, it's the journey, like we talked about. Like, it's a process to get there. If you don't take those steps, you're not going to end up at the destination. So, you know, he always had a very good eye for just helping me kind of articulate and understand scenarios, is not pointing a finger, right? Like, obviously he's always had his point of view as well as a human and as a father, but he does a good job of understanding, like, hey, this is where you needed to be better too. Right. And that's that aspect. Like, for example, Coach Tory, he's not a perfect coach. He's not always getting it right every single time. Nobody is, though.
Nobody.
Right. So as he fails, I fail.
Yeah.
Right. Sure, he maybe could have done a better job one game of getting me the ball.
Yeah.
I could have done a better job of getting the ball.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's also, I control my own destiny.
Yeah.
Right. There's a small amount of scenarios where somebody actually is trying to screw you over, right? So that's really the
Sean
truth.
trying to get us all the time back there. We see you. Try to hide back there, Sean.
but like that's really the aspect. Like, nobody's really trying to screw you over, and there's a small percentage of people that do that, and it stands out, right? So at the end of the day, you control your own path, right? Go out there and do it yourself. Don't point fingers. Don't get after a game ends badly for you. Say, man, Coach Tory really just screwed me over. He coached me terrible that game. No, maybe you just
had an off game. Give yourself a little bit of grace,
dude.
Right?
Yes,
so that's really the aspect of it. Like, some games I played, sure, I got mad because I didn't get a lot of shots, and this is at the Division I level at Detroit, right? Oh man, I really should have got the ball more. I needed to get more threes, and sure, they could have done that as coaches, right? But the other aspect of it is, well, you know what? They were face guarding me the entire game, right? They're in a zone, and I go corner to corner, what we usually run against the zone. The guy didn't leave me once, so it wasn't really even a zone. It was more like a box and one at that one.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, sure, you can run sets to get me the ball, but at the end of the day, that's not gonna be my game. They want to take me out of the game. That's fine. Let my other guys succeed. Let
create
them
your own opportunity.
Let them go do it and get it done, and then they're gonna have to adjust. Right. But if I off rip am over here like, man, I'm not getting the ball, all this. Like, they need to get me the, you know,
I get it.
They want to get me the ball, blah, blah, blah. Like, I could get all mad, all frustrated. No, it's the reality of the game. It's not always going to go how you want it to go, right? It's adjustments, right? This is how they're coming at you, so this is what I'm going to do. They're going to have to adjust after my guys get going and they start scoring, because I know that's what they can do, right? So you got to trust other people to help you be better. And that's the aspect. Like, basketball is a team sport, right? My teammates are going to make me the best player I can be, right? And that's vice versa with the staff, with the people you surround yourself in life beyond basketball. The people you decide are going to be your family, the people you rely on. Those are who are going to make you the best you, because you're surrounding yourself with people that have the best intentions for not only themselves, but yourself. So it's a big factor in those things, and making sure you put yourself in spots to succeed, right? Like, you are who you are around.
Yes.
Tory, as a coach for you, you know, we talk so much about making the kids better human beings, bringing them closer to God. You're also coaching the game of basketball. Yeah. Do you feel like the majority of the time you're really coaching them as human beings and to bring them closer to God more than basketball? Because like, I'll constantly say, like, I don't care that you're a basketball player and a young man. I care that you're a young man that just so happens to play basketball. Yeah. Has that helped you change the way you coach a little bit, looking at coaching them as human beings more than anything?
Yeah, it really has. I mean, when I got into this thing, when I was on both sides. I was a player, and then now as a coach. As a player, I didn't know all the hats that my coach wore until I became a coach. And then when I became a coach, I realized the impact that I have, and it could be a negative impact or it could be a positive impact in how I approach it. It holds power in a sense. Yeah. Like, if I don't know you or try to get to know you and know, like, hey man, so you may be dealing with something, but I'm always hard on you. Right. Man, there's nothing that you're gonna take from that. You're never gonna take anything positive from that. You're gonna shut down, and I'm never gonna get through you. You're never gonna to improve, because you, as much talent as you have, and this, we deal with it. A lot of kids have the talent, They just need the other aspect. They need to be nurtured in certain situations. Some guys need to be challenged a little bit. Some guys need to be loved. Some guys need to just be, I just need to hear them be vented to. They just want to get certain things off their chest. So as I got into this thing, it became less about coaching the X's and O's. We do a lot of that in the off season. We spend a ton of time and that's why our off season is so important. We do a lot of our skill sessions. We get we get better individually and stuff like that. But then during the season, kids are also dealing with different other things that's off the court that they may bring onto the court. So I got to be able to see that, help them navigate through that, and help them to focus on certain things that can help them succeed when they're on the court. But also, after this, how else can I help you? You know what I'm saying? Being a lending ear. So when I got into this thing, it was about just win. Then as I understood what God was trying to do through me, how he was trying to use me, what I've experienced as a player, how that has helped me become a better coach. God been doing certain things in my life, bro, that has made me a better coach. You know what I'm saying? Really made me a better coach. And the many hats that I wear now, again, it may be 10% coaching. It's 90%
fundraising.
Fundraising. I'm a
Duffel
mentor. Like you play a father figure role in certain guys' life.
Yeah.
You have to be that friend. You have to be a therapist in certain moments. You have to be the mediator in certain situations. You're wearing different hats, and just knowing that, for me it helps, and that's what I got into this thing for. I God allows me to still be close to the game that I love, while also giving me gifts. He equipped me with gifts to help these young men recognize the strengths that they have within themselves and use those strengths, these qualities that they have, to accomplish goals that they've dreamed of. So that's, watching you guys kind of get to that level and succeed at that level. That brings me so much joy. Watching guys that I'm coaching now receive scholarship offers, your little brothers that you've had, like these are like your little brothers. So watching them learn and understand and then take coaching and then apply the lessons that they're learning, apply it to everyday life, to help them to achieve things, to get to where you're trying to go. Man, just watching them, it brings so much joy to me that goes beyond. As a player, I used to think, that's great winning it. But then I got into the coaching thing and watching them succeed, man, bro. It brings me tears, man. It brings me tears. So I love it.
Take it from two older guys,
Yeah.
TJ, two grizzled vets. It does.
real.
You'll start to notice, and I'm sure you see it though when you see guys like Andrew Walker be successful. Even some guys you played with that are friends of yours or even against them. I know you have a good rapport with a lot of guys you played against.
Yeah.
Even to see them be successful, I know you take joy in that. Tory, you described what it means to be a great teammate as well.
Yes.
It's a lot of what you do as a coach.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to be that father figure for another teammate that's the same age as you.
Yeah.
Because they don't have that mom or dad at home to go empty their bucket to, or have someone to refill their bucket.
Man.
I mean, there's so many different roles you have to fill. One thing I want to touch on is a challenge. It had to be a challenging situation. I want you to talk a little bit about your mentality going into it. You go into UAD freshman year, finally healthy, have a good season, right? Probably not up to your standard and what you wanted to accomplish, but probably could have gone into the portal after your freshman year, right? I remember talking to you a little bit about it. You weren't too hot on the idea, felt like you had to come back and you had more to prove.
Yeah.
You come back this year, have a great season. Created more opportunities for yourself, more shot opportunities. We went to one game before we could even find our seats because there's so much construction at UAD's at Callahan.
Man.
We're TJ Nadeau had 9 points before we even sat down and got the worst hot pretzel in the country at
easily.
Callahan Hall. I'm going to put that on record, on tape, stand on it. Please. Well, now I have no reason to go back to a basketball game unless one of our guys from this year goes there.
Yeah.
But if, in fact, I ever come, please work on the hot pretzels.
Man.
But you go through your sophomore year, you have a great season. You guys are a last-second shot, last-second possession away from going to the tournament, right? You have a great year. Now you start thinking about the transfer portal. You're in a program that loves you, coaching staff that cares about you. You're in a good school academically, but I know you wanted something more. For you, how stressful was that re-recruiting process to go through again? Because it was like a flashback to high school. Probably a little bit better for you because you had more attention this time around in the portal than you did coming out of high school because of some of the injuries. So what was that experience like?
You know, it's really like kind of heartwarming in a way, because for me, high school, I wasn't this
I don't know
big.
if anybody would say it like that. So I'm interested to hear
For
this.
me, it was because it was like I never had that attention in high school. I just had a bunch of kind of like fishing. Like I was getting nibbles, but nobody ever bit.
Took the bait, yeah.
So you know, for me, like I never had that attention where all these coaches at that level want me to come play for them. They want to coach me. They want me to be someone they want to mold their team around, and like that's a really humbling aspect. Like, wow, you know, like I finally have done what I'm supposed to do, that I've always wanted to do, and now I'm here, and it's staring me right in the face. So that aspect was really cool to me, because it's like I finally made it type thing in terms of where I want to be in a success as a Division I athlete in my basketball career, right? I have sustained image that is positive in terms of how I've been able to go about my career. You know, the aspect that was tough is obviously I just don't like leaving. Like it took me a very hard, long time to really go through that thought process.
Was that the toughest part for you, the emotional part?
Yeah, just because that's how I am. Like I've never been someone who hops from place to place. Like I played on the same AAU team since I was like from third, second grade.
Which never happens.
No.
Yeah, till all the way up until junior year when Midwest got at me.
Yeah.
And obviously that's just an opportunity where it's like you're playing against the best players in the country.
On a national
So it's
level,
like to an extent it's like you have to, like, yes, you want to be loyal, but then there's that other aspect of you can't pass up opportunities when you're ready to take that next step up.
Yeah.
You can't pass up on it, right? Because you got to go prove, and it's also a personal thing. I want to prove I can be one of the best.
Yeah, you belong there the whole time.
So and that's the thought process. And at the end of the day, everybody for me when I left my AAU team, all happy for me.
Yeah.
All, dude, like great, like go kill, right? Like you're meant to go up that level, right? So it's that happy part, that success of, okay, he's ready, he's taking those steps. And that's the same thing at this level, right? Like I felt like, you know what? I did what I needed to do. I had a great year. We turned Detroit Mercy's program back around, and I'm very happy and proud about that. And right now I've put myself in a situation where I can now go take a step up and play at a much higher level of basketball that I've always dreamed of being able to play at, right? So for me, that was the part where I'm like, it's hard because you don't want to leave where you're at. I loved where I was at. It's close to home. I got all my people that come to the games, right? It's not something that's a negative to stay. But at the end of the day, you always got to pursue the harder route. I need to go be in a gym where I might not be the best player. So now my game can even evolve at a higher level. Go play against teams day in and day out that it's not a guarantee for me to go dominate. I got to go make sure I'm ready to go dominate them. I got to make sure I put in more work. I got to do extra length to make sure that I can succeed at that level. Right? So it's just about pushing myself to be the greatest I can be at this game. And it's not, you don't have a long time with it, right? It's not, no guarantee you get next year or the year after, or you get a full, you know, professional career going overseas, NBA, whatever it is. Like nothing's guaranteed. You got to take
maybe
what you
your
can
journey.
get year to
Honestly,
year.
maybe your journey just ends with the CC like alumni league. Like
I mean,
maybe it does. And I'm not saying that like
No, it's not a negative.
like I
It's
said,
just
I
reality.
joke with you about playing alumni softball,
Right?
Yeah, we talk.
unsung hero for a couple games that you came out, but that's the thing though. You like
Man.
everybody's journey is different. Just
Totally.
it's important for young athletes to hear what you're saying, just to meet yourself where you are.
Right.
You don't have to be like anybody else. It's not going to be the same. You not getting recruited in high school, like I know you felt a certain type of way about that. I know that it bummed you out. No matter how mentally tough you are, I remember us having talks about it. I know you talked to Tory about it. Our young athletes today, and even some of the adults, need to understand it's okay to give yourself grace as long as you're putting the work in.
Right.
I always know I'm going to fail. Like you said, I don't want to be the best player in the gym or here or the smartest person in the room. I want to put people around me that are going to make me better. They're going to make me level up. They're going to make me question, is there something I can do to love people more, just to be a better person? That's what I like about you. I know it wasn't all in granted, we're not going to talk NIL money and stuff like that. I know that that does play a part when you come into the portal and stuff like that, which is great. What made you fall in love with Tulane to understand and to help you feel like this is the place that's going to fill that last quarter of my bucket athletically?
So for me, obviously, like the process of when you get all these coaches calling in, because you can't facilitate, 30, 40, 50, how many coaches it is. You can't be facilitating all of them on a day-to-day basis, right? You have to dial in and be able to create a list of, hey, these are the top schools I really like, and this is what I'm targeting, and everybody else, like, thank you for reaching out. I really respect it. But like, this is what I'm focused on. If things change, I'll get back with you.
Not fun telling people no, is it? I know
No,
you didn't have to do that too much in high school, but
it
now
never is. It never is.
the
Because
hard
there's a lot
part,
of really
bro.
good people out there, a lot of coaches that I talk to that I gain relationships with that are happy for me. Like they saw me commit to this school, Tulane, and they're like, go kill.
Because they know you're
super
genuine.
happy for
They
you.
know you're there. They know you are in it
And
for
it's
the
like,
right reasons.
They always say it's like speed dating, right? You got to create this relationship really quick with guys,
That's a great way to put it.
like figure out how good of a fit they are for you. And for me, obviously, knowing Tulane was down south, a really cool school, beautiful, and then obviously it was a really good academic school, and then they compete in the American Conference. So like for me, that was a conference where I'm like, that's a great step up, and I could have gone higher. I could have gone to a bigger school, bigger program in terms of, maybe going to the ACC, the Big 10, the SEC, Big 12, right? Like schools like that are interested. But to me, right, I want to go play basketball. I don't want to just go be at a big time school. Yes, so I'm repping this label of this big time program, but then I go not even touch the court. No, I want to go somewhere that's high level that I can go compete and play at
and still
at
develop,
a high level.
and continue to develop.
Right.
Yeah.
So this school was all for that. And they want me to come there and they want me to go kill. They want me to go play my game and excel.
Bingo.
Right. So for me, that was a huge process. And then just the coaching staff was like so warming and like heartfelt. Like all those guys, just very genuine people, all happy for me for whatever step I go in, and like just to have relationships with some of those guys, like immediately, it was really cool how just like genuine, like we say, it felt, because it's hard. Like it is speed dating. So it's like, you only know these people for maybe a week at most, if you actually talk to them for a long time. So
Which is nothing. That's
which is
nothing.
nothing.
Man.
So you don't know if you're getting screwed over or if it's genuine is kind of the best way to put both of it. Like you want to make sure that you put yourself in a spot to succeed, not fail, or not regress or have to go back down.
When those coaches talk to you and anybody else involved in the process, could you feel the culture through them?
100%. And that was the biggest thing. Like I went down there and it just felt like home. Like I'm like, wow, I feel
Perfect.
like I could live here. I feel like I could be here on a day-to-day basis. The staff was just funny, goofy.
You
like,
told me about the
right.
staff, that the differences, of
Right.
how they were all supportive. They
Exactly.
were there compared to the one school that the head coach may have been there, but
and that's like the biggest aspect for me, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody
Yeah.
cares
It's your
about
journey.
that.
oh, yeah.
But like for me, I wanted a staff where it's like I love these guys.
Yeah.
Like I feel like beyond basketball, I'm gonna have relationships with them.
Yeah.
Beyond those types of things, I want to be able to know I can call them up whenever I want
key.
after my career. Like
Yeah.
same thing I got with Tory right now. Like
Yeah.
that's exactly what I was looking for in a college environment, is a situation where I can go back whenever I want and it's doors open.
Yeah.
Right. So to me, like that's really what I'm looking for. And that's what I felt there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, and that's how you have to gauge it. Like, especially for these high schoolers right now, or even kids in the portal, like just because you get the big time school to hit you up doesn't mean it's the best situation for you.
Mhm.
Right. Like go where you can play, because at the end of the day, not playing sucks. Right. And I unfortunately, like not in a cocky way, but I haven't experienced that. Like I really sat here and talked to myself. Like I was like, well, you know what? High school, I played all 4 years varsity. I'm like, and I played all the games. Then I got to college. I started half the season as a Division I freshman at Detroit Mercy. Started all my games sophomore year. Like I've always been playing. I've never not played at any level I've been at. So I'm like,
The only time you didn't, though, if you really think about it, is when you were injured.
Yeah.
Which is one of the toughest things to go through mentally, because you can't put work
Right.
in.
Yeah.
Your teammates don't know how hard you want to be back or how hard
Yeah.
you're working to get back. So you just didn't realize how strong that adversity made you, because
right.
I'd rather have you face it with an injury than in basketball. I'm happy as hell that your basketball career has been I can't say as smooth as it's been, but it's worked out like it has.
Yeah.
Because there's still room for growth. You're still growing as a young man and as a basketball player, and your faith and everything else. Like, the sky is the limit. And one thing you kept mentioning throughout this whole thing, and the last thing, we're going to wrap this thing up with a pretty little bow at the end of it with something you guys aren't prepared for, which I love. But the thing that I love that you touched on repeatedly is relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Relationships. That's what life is all about. I told the story how I substitute taught. I definitely should not tell this on here, but I heard a story of a person who substitute taught in a chemistry class. Said person said to the class after they closed the door, "Fellas, are any of you guys going to be chemists?" Everybody in the classroom said no. I said, "Take what you need to from this class, learn how to relationship build."
Yeah.
I didn't say it. I'm sorry, excuse me. I didn't say that. The substitute
Substitute
said
said it. Yeah.
But it's true. It doesn't matter what you go into. You got a relationship build. You got to lean on the people that are part of your circle. Bring people in that fit part of your circle. And if they don't fit, audit them.
Yes.
Get them away. If they're negative, get them out of your circle. If they don't make you better, get them out of your circle. If they one of our lacrosse players, I'll tell you what, the best part about being here is kids like that. And welcoming kids. Let me cut my thought off just to give people a little context on TJ. TJ would be in my office every single day looking for snacks. He touched on his diet. I want to back him up on that. He used to eat a ton of muffins and cookies.
The muffins are good here.
Unbelievable. The muffins are fantastic. Shout out to True Food. But I never understood how he could be so good at hoop with a good gas tank. He always looked tired, but still had gas in the tank. Yeah. Red face, curly hair all over the place, with the worst diet. One of the worst diets in CC history. Just a muffin man every single day. Every day. It blew my mind. But one thing that we do to end the House of Hammers podcast, and this has been everything I thought it would be from having you here, and I thought it was important to have Tory in here too. I don't know hoop like you guys do, but just the fact that I'm able to bring two other people in here that know relationships like I do. And Sean's the same way behind the boards. He's the exact same. He's the type of guy that goes all in and on his relationships, and it's made not only our experience here better, but our lives better. So my last challenge to you guys, once again, like I said, I used to have to kick TJ out all the time, every day out of my office. Some of the stories I won't go into, but trust me, he was a handful, but a welcomed handful. And to see you come back and the amount of pride that you take in who you are in your journey here at Catholic Central, what you continue to do and who you continue to become, that's why we love you. That's why we're always going to be here for you. And you know that. You know that when I say things like that, and we always say I love you to each other when we hang up or when we text, you know that love is real. In the short amount of time that you got to know Tory your senior year, from now until then, you know that his love for you is real here too. And we don't want anything in return. Maybe if you want to send the 2-lane jet up for us, bring us down.
Yeah, we can always use
especially
that.
when it's -10. I noticed you went somewhere too where it's not
Where it's
-10
warm.
during the winter. I'm sure that played a part in it. But that's the thing, though. We care about you not because of anything you could ever do on the court, but for the amount of times that you filled up our buckets just by being on campus, seeing you be good to people, seeing that smile that you always have, seeing Todd and Julie come back to games, being able to work with your dad now, with him being on staff here at school. Your mom just always putting such beautiful comments on pictures of my family. Like, you guys are part of our family and part of the fabric of Catholic Central. And just because you've graduated doesn't mean that has lessened. If anything, you've become more of a fabric of this place by continuing to come back and share your journey with us and with the kids. And we love you for that, and we appreciate you for it. Now, my challenge, every time we end a House of Hammers podcast, I make our guests give one positive tip to the viewers, the listeners. I don't care if it's one person, 4 people, 4,000, it doesn't matter. If somebody can take away something positive from this podcast, mission accomplished. I know we've done a good job. So I'm going to start with Tory since he had to do this before. Tory, give the people a little positive knowledge to take away.
Just to summarize everything that we've been through, and just something that's in my head as I'm just like thinking about this group of guys that I have, is audit your circle. I think when you audit your circle and you know that you have the right people in your circle, like you talked about earlier, TJ, you are who you hang around. If you hang around people who have a drive to succeed and who are faith-based type people, that's what you're gonna do. But if you're hanging around people who don't have any ambition to succeed or don't have any drive to do anything positive, that's what you're gonna be attracted to. That's what you're gonna be drawn to. So audit your circle. Make sure you got the right people in, and then keeping God first, man. God has put amazing people in my life, and these people have not only helped me on the court, they have helped me in life. They have helped me become a better man of God. They have helped me become a better husband, better friend, better brother, better everything in life because of what they pour into me, and then what I can pour into them. So audit your circle, man. Make sure your circle nice.
Love it. Hot Toddy, let's hear it.
Yeah, the biggest thing I'd say to take away from everything here is it's okay to not be great at whatever you're doing sometimes. Like, it's all about up and downs in this life, right? You're not always going to be hot in your faith. You're not always going to be grinding every single session in whatever sport it is and being the best you at that sport, right? You're not always going to be going crazy in the classroom with all A's. Like, you're not always going to have everything going your way. There's always downs, right? But it's understanding those downs, and it's surrounding yourself with, like we talked about, great people, great relationships that can help bring you back up, right? I'm not going to sit here and say I'm perfect, and none of us are, right? My faith isn't always great, and it's not always the best. But at the end of the day, it's about striving to make it that. It's about always pursuing a bigger goal, a stronger goal, and have those aspirations to be the best you, right? And it's about, like I said, putting yourself around great people, like my brothers right here.
I will say this is the best version of your hair that we've seen, because in high school when you had I don't know if you permed that or what, but when you went with the baby fro, remember when you had the baby fro?
That's all natural.
Yeah, that was mad.
It's all natural.
Yeah.
It's actually a little bit long right now. I need to get a haircut.
Yeah, that was mad.
You remember the muffin top?
I
though, when he
remember
had
it
it was
too.
perfect for what he ate daily at lunch.
Oh man,
But great, phenomenal points by both you guys.
yeah.
I would say give yourself some grace.
Oh yeah.
Don't be afraid to give yourself some grace. There's certain days when you're only, and I take this right from the book, The 4 Agreements, which is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Give yourself some grace. If you're feeling at 50% that day, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up over it. Just give everybody else all of that 50%. There's days when I feel 100%, I might give 105. And there's days when I'm just not feeling it. But I know when my feet hit the floor, I have to give whatever I have in me to my people because I care about myself enough to do that. Once again, you got to love yourself before you can pour love into other people. Yeah. However you have to figure that out, whether you have to self-audit, whether you have to audit your circle, whether you got to find more people to put up around you to stay positive and be the best version of yourself, do that. And if you fail, it's okay. Give yourself some grace, fail forward, keep hammering, do what you got to do to be the best version of yourself for the people you love and for yourself on a daily basis. We can't do it alone. We're on this journey together. I'm so lucky to have people like Sean Sova in my corner, Tory Jackson in my corner, TJ Nadeau in my corner. Obviously, Chris Okoye, who's usually sitting in this podcast. He's another one. There's plenty of people around here. Legends like Father Elmer and so many other great individuals who help pour into us. Just give yourself a little bit of grace and make sure that you remember, you don't have to be great to serve, but you have to serve to be great. And when all else fails, continue to give to the 1928 Club. You know I got to give that shout out, Sean. It's a tradition. Continue to give to the 1928 Club to support great things like this podcast and the other podcasts we have and to keep doing great things. On behalf of our co-host today, Coach Tory Jackson, one of my best friends, TJ Nadeau, somebody who I consider a great friend and my little brother. On behalf of the House of Hammers podcast, episode 16, When All Else Fails, we thank you guys. We love you guys and keep hammering. Thank you.
Ladies, gentlemen, Shamrock Nation.